We're inside of the Dome in Bluefield, Virginia for tonight's men's volleyball matchup. The Rams take on the Milligan Buffaloes here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Tori Chapman and Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. And we're already underway as the Rams come into this one at 3-6. Milligan coming from Johnson City, Tennessee, Tori, and they're trying to avenge a loss they had to the Rams earlier on this year.
Yes, Chipperini, their 6'3" freshman from Brazil, has made a major impact for the team. Their season opening game at Milligan, he had 14 kills. As you can see, Chipperini has made a major impact starting, and this is kind of what the team actually needed to get their season going.
Well, the sophomore coming out of Brazil, already a compliment to that Ray Vance team with the kill already as he spikes it down the line, right on the chest of Ryan Goins. And for Bluefield to get an opening win against the Milligan Buffaloes, Tori, you see that they only won one set last year, and to have already 3 wins on the season is a major way to come back with first-year head coach Ray Vance.
This is a major impact for the program itself. Winning only 1 set last year and already having 3 wins is just something that this school needed, and the confidence that these boys need to continue on for the rest of their season.
Already a 3-0 lead for Bluefield as Chaz Franke, one of the older players on this Bluefield team, coming out of New Jersey. Roll shot over by Dalton Smith. Franke sets, and it just goes right near the official. That'll be the first point for Milligan. Well, Milligan actually considered a club team, not officially recognized by the NAIA, but head coach Deneva Bays brings them from Elizabethton, Tennessee. And the first set, or serve rather, will be for Austin Kokora. Already an ace for Milligan wearing the black in this one, Bluefield in the white. They're coming off of a trip, Tori, down to Florida where they actually had a couple of wins against Bruton Parker College. And for Bluefield to go on the road and find a couple of wins is another big step for Ray Vance.
Yes, Ray Vance has been mixing up the lineup quite a bit, actually, and this team has been doing a very good job by adjusting and working on their chemistry, as you can see. Hopefully that will show all the way through with this win tonight.
Well, Chipperini with an error right there. Bluefield already has allowed it to be tied up. It's already 3-3. Here in the first set, we're glad to have you on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Another reminder that got basketball this weekend. That'll be an audio-only broadcast, likely put on Facebook Live. Back here for volleyball, though, another chance down the line, kept alive, and now onto the back line. A shot over for Bluefield by Matthew Mazza. On the right side, Goins targeting the corner, and he'll get it. Already a lead for Milligan at 4-3.
And that was just barely in right there. They got lucky on that one.
So setting up Goins there, Bluefield almost a little out of system after they jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Another serve for Corcoran. And make that 2 aces. Milligan on a roll here, 5-3.
It's very important for our Bluefield Rams to start out strong so they have that momentum to continue out for the rest of the game.
Well, Corcoran with that jump serve. Puts it to the back line for Chipperini. Franke up in the air. Mazza with the left hand. Back towards the middle. Tipped over by Doring. Set. Spike. And in. Milligan once again piling on the points after going down 3-0. It's 6-3. So Corcoran to keep this rally going for the Buffaloes.
And that just barely hit the top of his hand. It almost went out, but it's still continuing to play.
Well, now attacking the block that time for Bluefield is Chris Dixon, and the ball goes out of bounds, so the Rams get the point and the serve right back. It's 6-4. Rams coming off of a loss just a few days ago to St. Andrews, went down 3-0 to the Knights right here at the Dome on Tuesday. Well, Chipperini, one of the few players for Bluefield that actually is a designated volleyball player. A lot of these guys have other sports they play at the college, and Chipperini recruited to play volleyball. Also a basketball manager.
He has the height, he has the power, and he's just the missing spot that they've been needing for the last couple of years.
And over by Robinson, just a little too much mustard, and the Rams get right back within 1. It's 6-5. Chipperini right back with it. Tipped in the air, and now net violation gives the point right back to Bluefield. It's 7-5, or 6-6 rather.
Chipperini's in the back once again, working on his float serve.
Frankie.
Oh, perfect setup.
Right down Broadway for Dixon, and like you said, a perfect setup for the middle hitter there.
Chris Dixon actually just started his season just a couple games ago. He's been a redshirt, and now we finally get to see what he's going to be adding to the team.
Ace for Bluefield, courtesy Chipperini. Just went right off the hands of Aberentos. Chipperini to continue to serve for Bluefield as a few more fans start to walk in. Set with the right hand, straight in the air. Kept alive by Dixon. And a whistle, and that is a double hit. Bluefield gets the lead back. It is 9-6. Attacking the right side. Blocked, and he tried to go against Dixon there, but Doring with the kill makes it 9-7.
With a little extra press on the hands, hopefully next time Dixon will be able to get that and keep it on their side of the court with that block straight down.
Well, Tori, with Bluefield being a younger volleyball program in the AAC, what are some of the challenges you think that presents to these players as well as Ray Vance?
Well, this definitely is a positive and a negative. Being young, inexperienced, you can see that a lot of these people on the team still have a lot of work to do before they're up to the level of some of the other players that they will be versing this season. But at the same time, this is a growing opportunity for this team.
Rams have another game in 9 days against Campbellsville. Here's a set. Another attack for Goins. Close to the net, tipped over. And the dig attempt for Bluefield couldn't be executed by Cardamone, and now it is 9-8.
This game has just been back and forth the whole time.
After that long rally by Milligan, you see right there a service error. That time from Daniel Robinson, the freshman from Joppa, Maryland. Now checking into the game for Bluefield, Carleek Owens, and Dixon will serve. Another point going for the Rams. As a volleyball player yourself, Tori, it has to be important to get that momentum started early.
Exactly. Starting early, it's all about the confidence. These players need to get hyped up. They need to have the energy. They need to have the momentum. And right now, this is exactly what they need to continue the lead and get this win here tonight at the Dome.
Barrow serves for Milligan. Frankie setting up Owens, splits the defense that time, and Owens with the fingertip push right over the net. A substitution, and now the Rams bringing in some new players. Ricardo Yanez back in. Also a member of the soccer team here at Bluefield, as is Carleek Owens. Now the young man out of Honduras will serve for the Rams.
He is definitely a powerful back row asset that this team really needs and appreciates, especially during some hard digs.
Yes. See right there, a dig for Bluefield in the air. Frankie setting up Clark. Tipped over. What a finesse play for Milligan, courtesy Luke Dove.
Frankie almost had that. He hit it with his fist, but it wasn't enough.
Well, off of the court goes Arion Leary. Back in goes Cardamone. It's 12-11. Setting up Clark. Just a little too much, and we're tied up once again, 12-12.
You can definitely tell that Clark does have the power. He just needs to learn how to control it a little bit and keep it in the court.
Well, two of the more powerful players for Bluefield. Got Alberto Ciparini and Lasharo Clark. And Frank Key doesn't need the power, just needs that little move. And on the touch gives Bluefield the lead again.
That ball just went straight down. There's nothing Milligan could do about that one.
Now another serve for Bluefield. The whistle blows and Lucas Ledur in. Freshman coming out of Brazil. We got two players from the biggest country in South America between Ciparini and Ledur. Frank Key. Ciparini blocked. What a play. Kept alive, though, by Yanez. Pushed over Frank Key.
Perfect spot right there in the back corner.
Good lunging move by Leary, but not enough. A point for Milligan. Still, though, you're seeing that aggression and the tenacity for Bluefield, even though this is a close matchup here in set one. Ciparini right down the line. Almost left a crater in the hard court there. And I bet when you have that much power sometimes, it's a little hard to calibrate it.
Exactly. Sometimes it's hard to control exactly where you want to put it, but you can tell that he definitely has the experience.
Knocked over. Milligan with the points. Looped up again.
He tried to get that cross court, but Milligan was in the way, blocked it, and it went straight down.
Well, you go back to this volleyball matchup played all the way on January 18th. It wasn't necessarily close in two of the sets. Rams won the first one 25-13, and then the second wrapped up 25-23. And then another point for Bluefield, that time from Dixon.
Dixon with a 10-foot kill.
And then Bluefield able to wrap up that match last time, 25-14. So Milligan making it a little close here in set one as the Rams only lead by one. Floats over. Worker run, couldn't wrap it around the pole. Another point for the Rams. Frankie looking on, the New Jersey native smacks the ball over. Leary pops up Frankie. Maza.
Great assist from Frankie, and Matt as well has that powerful hit cross court.
Large lead for the Rams now after it was tied up 14-14, jumping out to a 17-14 lead. Service error.
That float serve was just a little too much. A little less power, and that would have had the perfect spot on the back row.
Right into the net. And we're seeing service errors on both ends here, so Bluefield giveth and then taketh away there, 18-15.
So many points are lost just due to serving, so we just got to make sure that our team is consistent and we get the ball over so we do have the opportunity to get the point and keep it going.
And you can see Milligan already in set one working out the kinks of being a young program as well. The Rams getting another point. 19-15 the score. Won this matchup 3-0 back on January 18th. Look sets up. And a great play by Doring with that little tip from the middle blocker.
That's just how they get you those tips. You're not prepared for it. But these players need to be prepared for anything because Milligan wants to come back and get their revenge from losing on their own home court.
It's about a 2-hour drive from the town literally considered Milligan College. But before that little tidbit, Chris Dixon, wow.
He's really making an impact on this game today.
5 kills for the recent junior coming off of that red shirt. Also spent some time on the cheerleading squad here at Bluefield.
Like you said,
can't track it down.
Like you said, a lot of these athletes are dual athletes, so it's pretty great that they find time and with volleyball especially and make the chemistry work on the team, no matter what their other priorities around campus are.
Tip to the air, smacked over. Knocked in by Lasharo Clark, but it will go to Milligan. Now the score 20-18. And another serve for Greg Abaritos. Frankie can't keep it alive, and we're back to a 1-point game.
This is the time where Bluefield Rams just need to focus and continue the game and push 5 so they can get this first set under their belt.
Mazza with a left hand. Off the fingertips.
Perfect.
Frankie. Ciparini with a home run that just clocks over those offices right behind the basketball hoop. Now a timeout called by Bluefield, all tied up at 20-20. And Tori, what exactly happened there? The Rams were up 17-14. Milligan found a way to fight back.
You can tell that the Rams are fighting, but maybe just a little bit too much. They have to learn to control their power, keep their hits in, and of course keep their serves in. All these little points are very detrimental to the ending result, hoping that we could get that final first set win here in the Dome tonight.
So Chris Dixon already with 5 kills for Bluefield, and Ciparini having a little bit more of a quiet night, but you still see that power in Matthew Mazza on the other end, hitting with his opposite hand with that left hand, trying to target those inefficiencies on the Milligan side. But Milligan has found a way to stay with Bluefield, even though they might not necessarily have a ton to play for as a team not officially recognized by the governing body of the NAIA.
They're definitely putting up a competition for our Rams.
Right back out onto the floor. Milligan with a ton of potential here. Rams walking back out onto the floor. Carleek Owens back into the game. And Lasharo Clark might be that secret weapon for Bluefield, lining up on the left side, a back line between him and Ciparini.
It's very vital that Bluefield gets this first point out of the timeout.
Here's Mazza, left hand. Set from Corcoran. Chance for Goins. Right through the middle, and the lead goes for the Buffaloes.
And just like that, the game got switched and Milligan is in the lead.
Abaritos once again serving the libero. And you get the big point, and then right after that, a service error. Knotted up, 21-21. This one's likely going to come down to the final few kills here as Ricardo Yanez goes back in, as well as Arion Leary, wearing that libero shirt coming out of Suffolk, Virginia.
The Rams really needed that serve-receive error to try to get the lead once again.
So Yanez going cross-court there. Smacked over by Dove. It goes over the boundary. Lead back for Bluefield.
Yanez followed that all the way through to make sure that it hit the line.
And now Ray Vance, head coach of Bluefield, giving a few short commands to Yanez, who floats back towards the middle now. In the air from Dove. Frankie. Here's Clark. Off the hands of Abaritos, point Bluefield.
What a kill for Lasharo Clark.
He went across the body, helping Bluefield get just within 2 of knotting up set 1. Yanez once again to serve. Blocked at the net, but Bluefield couldn't get the ball over. There's a kill for Goins.
We had that triple block, but we just couldn't get it all the way over.
And a pretty big move right there for Milligan to attack that triple block. And now Goins will serve fresh off of the kill. Frankie sets. Owens on the back corner. Bluefield going cross court here.
This is exactly what they needed to continue and hopefully win this first set here at the Dome tonight.
So another serve coming up for Carleek Owens. Or rather, he'll try to switch it up. A timeout called by Milligan. And Bluefield also looking confused as well as Lucas Leder was trying to come out. Rams serving for set point now, 24-22. Bailey Engel and Tori Chapman. We're glad to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield trying to rebuild this volleyball program as it's only a few years old, trying to build it up from scratch after last year being coached by the women's coach Buddy Gallimore. Now Ray Vance coming in out of a lot of volleyball experience. He was living in Richmond and then moved out here to Southwest Virginia, right near that West Virginia border, trying to rebuild this Bluefield program. And It's kind of tough, especially for a team that only won one set last year. Already he has 3 wins. But Milligan trying to do the same exact thing and making it close here, and they have to fight right out of the timeout as the Rams will serve for set point.
The Rams have been doing a great job adjusting. Wherever Vance wants them to go, they'll do it. They have been repositioned a lot, trying new things, but I believe that Bluefield Rams does have what it takes to make a bigger impact than what they have in the last years.
Here comes Lucas Leder, young player out of Brazil. Jumps and smacks the ball over. Goins floats. Tipped in the air by Dalton Smith. Chipperini fails to get the ball over the net. Milligan stays alive. It's 24-23.
He's usually good at those high pressure moments, but right now you can just see he has a lot of frustration on his face, and he really just wants to finish this set.
Chance for Dalton Smith. Owens blocked again. What a play by Luke Dove, and we are tied up 24-24.
It can go either way now, folks.
So Dalton Smith ready to serve. And a chance for the sophomore from Milton, Tennessee, a service error. So that's really the second time we've seen that happen. Milligan able to tie it up, and then right after that, a service error. So Bluefield now serving for set point, courtesy Carleek Owens.
Bluefield definitely got lucky right there.
Here's Owens. Service error.
They just gave it the service error right back to them. Like I said earlier, serving is very vital, especially in the last couple minutes of the game. This is what can make or break a set.
Here's Luke Dove. 3 straight service errors. And Bluefield has another chance. See what they can do with it. So now we'll have to see what Chaz Frankie can do. With a right hand, serves it over.
Straight in the middle.
Mazza goes towards the back. Chipperini blocked. They recover though. Mazza rolls over the net. Off the hands of Arion Leary. Wow. Tied again, 26-26. Both teams giving each other chances, but neither able to capitalize. Corcoran serving it up. Frankie, back set. Chipperini. Diving play made by Goins to keep the ball alive. Wow.
They're doing everything they can to keep this game in their favor.
Another chance. Over the line. Too much from Daniel Robinson. And the Rams will have yet another chance for set point.
It's just being flipped back and forth. And we're just hoping that this last serve will be the last for this first set here at the Dome.
Alberto Chipperini. It's with the right hand.
And that serve was definitely a rocket.
Wow. Just over the line, Aberintos confidently olayed that ball. Thought it was going to land right in from up here, but it just snuck over the line. Another service error.
That was a crazy looking serve back there, wasn't it, Bailey?
Chris Dixon tips the ball over. Cardamone setting up Frankie. Lasharo Clark. Bluefield with another chance coming up. 28-27.
Chris Dixon has been pretty consistent with his serves tonight, so hopefully he'll keep the streak going.
And if every set is going to be like this, this could be a long night at the Dome. Corcoran, Dalton Smith.
Those roll shots can be pretty tricky trying to get underneath them.
Whistle, net violation. Point Bluefield, and they wrap up set one. 29-27. Kind of a anticlimactic end there, but Bluefield able to take set one on a very advanced score. 29-27, 1-0 Rams as we come back for set two. Just about ready to start set two here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Rams wrapped up set one, winning 29-27 in a really back and forth affair. Bailey Engel and Tori Chapman, we're happy to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network as the Rams are taking on Milligan College Buffaloes. Leading the way for Bluefield in set one. 5 kills for Chris Dixon as he's just brought back onto the team after being redshirted. And then right behind him, 3 kills for Lasharo Clark. Leading the way on the other side, a couple of players with 3 kills. Drew Doring as well as Ryan Goins, the outside hitter. But Doring, that middle blocker setting up. But a little quiet day for Alberto Ciparini.
Yeah, last game against Milligan College, he had in the double digits kills, 14 whole kills, which helped them finish up their opening match at Milligan. But tonight, it's just been back and forth, and he hasn't been getting as many kills as what we are used to seeing.
Now we'll have to see what he can do here with that first serve. Sliding Abaritos. Frankie. Chris Dixon make that 6 kills.
Having a powerful middle can really make or break a team, and as you can see, it's really helping us in a positive way here tonight.
Marianne Lee, a couple of quick words from Ray Vance. Alberto Ciparini shuffles up and smacks the ball over. And looks like Milligan was out of rotation, so another point for Bluefield. Slow start for the Buffaloes, and Geneva Bays, as well as the assistant coach Kylie Whaley, just trying to ask what's happening here with the official.
These small points are very important. As you can tell, as last set, it went down to just a 2-point difference. Every point does matter. We need to make sure that players on both sides are in rotation so we can keep this game going smooth as possible.
Well, exactly what you can expect from 2 young programs. Ciparini with a laser beam serve right over. Frankie the set. Spike from Maza. Tip to the back line. Goins keeps it going. Tipped over, Leary with the dig, but the ball just lands inches to the left of the boundary, and the first point of set 2 for Milligan.
Right there just seems to be a communication problem. We just need to make sure that the players are talking, communicating, and making sure that they are where they're supposed to be.
Daniel Robinson to serve once again. Freshman coming out of Joppa, Maryland. They jump on the serve, and no air either, as that ball just hit the net. Owens checks in for Bluefield. Another service error. Boy, it seems like those come in pairs.
It does. Dixon has been consistent with his serves tonight, but right there, back-to-back, we have missed serves.
See if the streak can end. It does. Frankie with a set.
That was a nice spot in the back corner.
Dalton Smith down the line and out of bounds. Point Rams.
It seemed that Bluefield was pretty uncertain where that ball was, and they definitely got lucky right there.
Whistle blows. Leder looking to check in. And he will for Maza. Rams looking to sweep the Milligan Buffaloes as they won 3-0 back on January 18th.
That was a great way to start the season and build their confidence.
And another service error for Bluefield. Dalton Smith led Milligan College back then with 5 kills. Luke Dove also had 5. And Goins had 3, so he has already matched that kill count he had in set 1 that he had in the entire match against Bluefield back on January 18th. And Lucas Dove let the ball go way beyond the boundary.
That just hit the tip of his fingers, and there was no way that ball was going to stay in.
Now 6-3 Rams. Ricardo Yanez checks in for Bluefield. And the dual soccer volleyball player sends the ball right into the court.
It's very important that these players realize that to take that extra second can really make the serve or not. If you just take an extra second to really realize what you're doing, half these balls probably would be going over.
A ton of service errors on either side. Cardamone pops the ball. Corcoran. Luke Dove Have to see a whistle, and it will be a net violation. Dove just hit the netted area, and instead of that being a kill, it'll be a point for the Rams.
These little points are really adding up.
We already saw with that early start, Bluefield jumped out to a 3-0 lead off of a rotation error from Milligan. Corcoran attacks off of the block. Back to the middle.
With these service errors, net violations, you can just see that not a lot of volleyball. It's just more a lot of technical stuff right here in the second set.
We already saw early on that Alberto Ciparini really has unharnessed power. And you saw there, he just clonked that one into the Milligan bench. Almost a whiff from Dixon, kept alive on the sliding dig from Dalton Smith. Does it again, and they won't be able to send that ball over the net. But what a play by Dalton Smith, lunging forward, and by that middle finger, the ball just had enough spin to pop straight up.
That's what we like to call a pancake.
Back to Frankie on the serve for Bluefield. Doring. Oh, Bluefield wasn't ready. Now the middle blocker has made a huge difference for Milligan.
The middle blocker for most teams usually is the powerhouse. As you can see, Chris Dixon has made a big difference tonight, and he seems to be the powerhouse of our team.
Mazza right in the corner. If all the kills we've seen tonight, that one might have been the most perfectly placed. Ciparini. Doring. There's Clark. Clark again. Off the block, and a solid play by the company of Doring and Goins. And when you're going up to attack a double block like that, there has to be some sort of strategy, right?
Yes, of course. When you're up against double, triple block, it is very important to remember your arm location and your hitting location. Hitting the tip of the hands can help you in a great way not get blocked all the way. So when you're hitting, make sure you focus on where the block is and work around the hands, definitely.
Well, Doring worked around that Bluefield defense there with another kill, shuffling the ball straight into the middle. 9-8 the score. Timeout called, and we're going to take a break here. Rams up 9-8, but a close one here at the Dome. Five kills for Doring of Milligan, as his team is back within one. 9-8 in a serve right over from Daniel Robinson. Over to Clark. Blocked again. Doring dunked the ball over. And we'll have to see. Yes, a net violation, just playing a little too close. That could have been a kill there, but Bluefield catches a break again.
These technical errors are really helping our Bluefield Rams tonight.
Already a few service errors for Milligan as Doring slaps the ball over, whiffs. Kept alive though, straight in the air. Dalton Smith off the hands of Chris Dixon, point Milligan.
Chris Dixon was there, but his arm positioning just wasn't quite right.
Not a lot of separation between Bluefield and Milligan. The Rams probably have a little bit more experience, but the Buffaloes making up for that in a tad bit more athleticism. And they have isolated Ciparini. Another block over by Luke Dove. Four blocks for the Buffaloes overall, capitalizing on the attack of Bluefield. And the ball just lands to the right of the line. Buffaloes were celebrating an ace. But instead, Rams get the point and the serve right back. Ledur to do the honors for the Rams.
Ledur is just one of those players that if Coach Vance puts him in, he will work wherever he is told. He's a very all-around good player, and he's such a great addition to this year's Bluefield Rams roster.
Well, dunked over, tied again, 11-11. Ryan Goins, once again all the way back near that basketball hoop. Graduate student coming out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Ledur on his knee had to smack the ball over.
He barely got it over, but he did.
The Brazilian sets up Clark. Another chance for Clark.
Changing it up, going from those powerful hits back to those tips, seeing if he can maybe score something.
Frankie, a lot of power even on the two-handed pop over. Luke Dove right off the chest of Cardamone.
These rallies are a lot longer than what we are used to seeing.
Luke Dove ends that rally right in the corner, lead for the Buffaloes.
Those corners are tough spots. Sometimes you don't know whether you should go for it or not, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and these Rams need to make sure they follow everything through all the way to the lines.
Now in set two, new life for Milligan. Point Milligan, courtesy Dalton Smith, and the Rams are trailing by their largest deficit, which is only at 2, but 13-11. Milligan has all the confidence in the world.
Dalton Smith seen that opening, and he hit it right there.
Frankie, Lasharo Clark couldn't get the ball around the post, and another point for Milligan. Rams reeling.
Lasharo tried to readjust to the set, but it just wasn't good enough.
Service error, that's just what Bluefield needed. As Ryan Goins failed to get the ball over, Ricardo Yanez back in, as well as Arion Leary. Well, Yanez, one of the better servers for Bluefield. You saw in that last set where he tried to go cross court and it threw Milligan off.
You never know what to expect with this one.
Trying to get Milligan out of system. That one just goes straight to the back line. Goins, well, maybe it did get him out of system as Luke Dove couldn't get the ball over. Back within one, here's Ricardo Yanez. Corcoran, way over the line, and he was playing a tad bit out of his element there as he's been the primary setter.
That ball just flew right out, and as you can tell by his swing, he didn't follow all the way through. This means that he stopped in midair, and he just let the ball fly out like he was pretty much serving the ball. It is very important to remember to snap and follow all the way through so we can keep those hits all the way in.
Well, he didn't follow through there. Ledur tried to keep it around for his teammates, and the lead back to 1 for Milligan. Dalton Smith to serve for Milligan. Dunked over by Frankie. Kept alive by Goins, though. Double hit for Milligan. Dove just palmed the ball over, and the Rams get another point. No, just a little bit of intrigue here. Dalton Smith wanted to clarify what happened. Carlik Owens sends the ball to the moon, but unfortunately didn't time it right.
He didn't take that extra second to really make sure where he was in the backcourt. Just missed it barely, slide it off his hands, and hit right into the net.
Now going back to your volleyball career, when you go for a serve like that, do you intentionally throw the ball up to as close to the roof as you can?
Me personally, no. I like to stay safe, especially when we have a close game, but sometimes with the men, they like to be powerful, and sometimes it's just too much and they can't control it.
Tied up again, 16-16, Chaz Frankie. And Frankie actually an assistant coach with the Bluefield women's college volleyball team. Doring up in the air. Another chance for Robinson off the block, and Bluefield couldn't solidify that defense on the corner. 17-16.
With Chris and Matt both in the front row, it's very important that these two powerhouse hitters also are a powerhouse in blocking. If they just pressed a little bit, that ball would have went straight down.
Chris Dixon slightly off balance, and you can see Bluefield is still reeling from it. Now jumps over. Corcoran, Robinson. Whistle, and the point goes to Milligan. Once again, a 2-point lead for Milligan. Shocking developments after the Rams lost to this team, or rather beat them 3-0 back in the middle of January. Now Milligan coming back refreshed with another chance here on the road.
That game is what really got the Rams started on having high hopes on this season.
Put to the air, back towards the corner. Goins couldn't get the timing right, but Bluefield couldn't keep the block in bounds. 19-16. And you saw with Goins, he just tipped that over on his back foot. That was likely to go out of bounds or really not get over the net at all. But now Bluefield gets gifted with a service error. Ciparini rather quiet in this game. Now with a chance to spark a comeback. Bluefield down by 2. Robinson. Frankie popped it back over to his bench.
No one really had full control during this set, this last point match, I should say.
Frankie. Clark. The block there, Ciparini just let the ball go straight in front of him. Rams are reeling, another break. Milligan on fire in the second set, and you're starting to see with Bluefield, Tori, is that the communication is just not there. And even if you look at this huddle right now, they aren't really grouped up. Milligan is all the way grouped up. Everybody for Bluefield is just spaced out.
You can tell that the frustration is really getting the best of them, but we have to remember that communication is key in any game or any type of athletics.
All right, and for Bluefield, the chemistry is not there, and Milligan in this month has developed a little bit more chemistry that the Rams certainly haven't showcased here this week inside of the Dome. On Tuesday, they lost against St. Andrews 3-0, and now against Milligan, a team not technically certified by the NAIA, now almost tied up with them. 21-17 after the Rams took set 1, 29-27. But Milligan has stormed back. Back on the floor here, Bailey Engel and Tori Chapman. We're happy to have you on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Decent little crowd we have here at the Dome. Well, the serve will start for Robinson. Really the big notable difference in this match from the one we saw in the middle of January, Alberto Ciparini had 14 kills in that one, and in this game, Ciparini not with a ton of kills, just with 4. Lofted over. Rams trying to come back here. Lasharo Clark.
That was a great snap on the wrist with that hit.
A couple of snaps of the wrist, but Milligan there. Now a whistle, and Bluefield gets it back. A double hit from Milligan.
It looked like Dalton Smith tried to grab that ball, but instead it just slid right out and flew right to the floor.
21-18, Rams with life now out of the timeout where Ray Vance really had to give a hard talking to these Bluefield College Rams. Frankie. Owens with the laser beam kill. Rams back in this one, down by 2. That's his third.
That's just what they needed to try to get back on top.
Chris Dixon. Serve. Corcoran over to Goins. Tipped over, but still a point for Bluefield. So Milligan leading by 4 at the timeout. Rams with 3 straight points and a chance to tie. Frankie. Clark.
That was a perfect set and a perfect kill.
Lasharo Clark going towards the back line, and now for the Pittsburgh native, that's his 5th kill.
Just like that, we're all tied up again.
Rams have rallied. Here's Chris Dixon.
That timeout is something that they just might need it to catch their breath and build some confidence back up.
Just like that, Dalton Smith down the line, point Milligan.
That looked like that one was going out, but he went for it just in case.
Snuck in. Point Mazza went the distance and attacked the corner. And for Bluefield, that ball just seemed to be in the air forever, and when it finally went down, a point for the Rams. Now Lucas Leder.
One-handed set.
Kept alive on the back line. Lasharo Clark.
With that roll shot, trying to trick them.
Milligan hangs tough though. Leder straight in the air. Frankie the set. Bluefield with the quadruple hits there. Couldn't get the perfect setup from Frankie. Lasharo Clark had the ball a little too close to the net, and now Milligan is within 2.
It's very important that the setter makes sure that all his hitters are ready to hit. And right there, Lasharo Clark just didn't seem ready and prepared to take that approach and get the kill.
Ciparini rolls over and it works out. Now, just like that, 5 kills for the Brazilian. And the match knotted up at 23-23 with Bluefield's big server coming up, Ricardo Yanez.
This 23-23 tie is looking a lot like the first that we just had.
And that one, you're just now joining us, folks, went to 29-27. Smacked over Luke Dove. And now Milligan will serve for set point.
Yanez looked at it fall to the floor, but he just didn't react.
Well, whistle, and Goins will mop up some of that perspiration near the Rams logo. 24-23. If you're just now joining us here in set 2, Rams were down at the timeout 21-17, scored 4 straight points, and then had the service, or rather the kill, on the other side by Dalton Smith. But just like set 1, the end of set 2 is going to come down to the wire. Ciparini.
Oh, yes. The kill that we've been waiting for all night to see from him came at just the perfect timing.
6 kills for Ciparini, and all the power just harnessed into his right hand. 24-24.
You could tell as soon as he was going up, that ball wasn't going anywhere except for straight down.
Serve for Leary. So just like set 1, 25 will not be the magic number. Frankie. Ciparini on his back foot. Leary with a diving dig, but no one there. Yanez slammed the ball into the stands.
You can tell that frustration is really getting the best of them.
Leary out after that dig.
But this is the time that Bluefield College Rams needs to calm down and make sure that they get the next point.
Now set point. Frankie. Ciparini kept alive, but rather now a kill for Milligan. Bluefield couldn't rally there. 26-24. Knotted up now here in Bluefield. 1-1, Buffalo's Rams here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Got some intrigue here at the Dome. Into set 3, Milligan did something against Bluefield that they couldn't do back in the middle of January, and that's take the set. We're tied up at 1-1 after a 26-24 win. Bluefield slid back in set 2, and Tori, what really happened with the Rams there?
I think it was just a confidence issue and a communication issue. Communication is key. Confidence is what powers them to the very end of the game. And right here in this third set, we need to focus on starting strong and being a powerhouse with all 3 hitters in the front row.
I think one of the biggest things was communication, and go back to that timeout call by Ray Vance. Now, granted, the Rams did rally out of that and tie it up, but Bluefield was not huddled up. They were all spaced out. Milligan was in a tight huddle, and you could just tell that this Rams team has a long ways to go with chemistry as Chaz Franke sails that ball over the back line. It's already an early point for Milligan, and you see these little mistakes. They piled up for both teams, and you see right there, if they run in parallels, Corcoran absolutely destroys that ball, tied up at 1-1.
Like you said earlier, Bailey, these missed serves usually come in pairs, or I should say triples.
Tipped in the air, and another point for Milligan. Another serve coming up for Daniel Robinson. Ciparini. Blocked out of bounds. Rams trying to keep something going here. That energy we saw them have at the beginning of set 1 has really noticeably dwindled after set 2.
The kill by Chris Dixon seems to hype up Bluefield Rams just a little bit.
Well, Chris Dixon has been the star early on in set 1. You saw Ciparini start to come alive at the end of set 2, just a little bit too late. And right after the Dixon kill, he sends the ball to the left.
I think this seems to be our main problem with Bluefield College Rams and a lot of teams that we have seen and played against. We get the kill, we work so hard to get the point back, and players go back and just miss the serve.
Franke to Owens. And you see a guy like Carlik Owens after he powers through with that kill, kind of unassuming. He has a very good swing, and sometimes Milligan can kind of underestimate a guy that's not necessarily tall, just at 5'9", the sophomore. Still a lot of velocity on that swing. Yanez. Straight in the air.
Somehow he caught that right to the middle of the court.
And Dalton Smith couldn't dunk it over the first time and then gets it on the second chance. Here's Goins. 5-3 lead for Milligan. Now the set. Ciparini. And you're starting to see the frustration mount for Ciparini as well.
It's really getting the best of him. And you know, when he's on fire, he's on fire. And I think one good kill will really help him build his confidence and get him where we need him to be tonight.
So 5 kills for Ciparini. Bumped up for Clark. Blocked, and Carlik Owens wasn't there.
They definitely had time to rescue that block, but Bluefield Rams didn't even move to try to attempt that, to get that back over.
Also what happened, I think that Owens thought that Franke was going to set him up, and then what ended up happening, Osharo Clark was there instead. Definitely there this time, but kept in the air. Goins. Sends it to Ciparini.
There he goes.
And no dig available that time for the libero, Abaritos.
His height and his power is kind of uncomparable to some of these other players here that we're seeing tonight. Lashara Clark with the serve.
Well, Clark, also a deadly weapon for Bluefield. See if they can harness that. Ciparini off the hands of Goins. And the frustration you saw from Ciparini kind of telegraphed over to Goins that time. He was noticeably upset, but Ciparini can't do much about it.
He was able to control his anger and frustration and put it in a positive way to get the point back on our side.
Goins. Luke Dove with a tip over, and it works out. Another serve for Smith.
There, Albert is mixing it up, going from hit to tip.
Ciparini.
He definitely fooled them there.
Heating up for the Brazilian, going down the line, and Milligan expects it.
What
now he has 9 kills.
Shot. Beautiful line shot.
So right off of the Ciparini kill, it's Ariane Leary to serve.
Back row hit for Smith.
Frankie. Ciparini targeting the corner instead of going down the line like the last few times. Goes cross court, and it ends up working well for the Rams.
I feel that Ciparini's fuel to his fire has sort of been lit here in the third set.
Now 10 kills for Ciparini. He had 14 against Milligan in that 3-set win back on January 18th.
Frankie's just going to keep setting him.
Whistle blows, and Bluefield had it 4 times there. Ray Vance doesn't like that call. I thought that Ciparini hit the ball back on the net and Bluefield would have restarted. So it's 9-7. Cardamone checks in for Leary. Ciparini. Nothing Luke Duff can do about that, Tori. Matthew Mazza ready to check back in for the Rams.
We see some powerful hits come out of him tonight, hoping that he can continue that when he goes back in here tonight for the third set.
And Mazza pretty deadly with that left hand, making sure that he can sub in as Yanez goes towards the bench. (9-8) Rams down by 1. And a pretty bad error that time. Goins with the set just let the ball pop right into his forehead.
Setter definitely had butterfingers there, Bailey.
He's got a sense of humor about it. Rams get it right back. Tied up 9-9.
Shaking it off and moving on is the only way that they can go.
This time it works. Corcoran.
Nice up by Frankie.
Another chance, and Corcoran, we talked about it there in set 2. He couldn't get the ball over the net. He lined up in set 1 as the setter, and now he's going as the outside hitter.
It's very important to have those players at the collegiate level be able to bounce back from spot to spot. Having a coach that relies on you, that's something that's so important in these games tonight.
Well, you know, for Corcoran, it's got to be tough for just a freshman to do both things.
And that sailed right out.
Yep, Dalton Smith a little too much, and Bluefield now up by 2 after trailing for the first part of this set. It's all tied up at 1-1. Rams took set 1, 29-27, and then Milligan jumped back 26-24. Back set, Doring. They were trying for a nifty move, and the middle blocker jumped a tad bit too early. Timeout, Milligan. Bluefield leads 12-9. Rams really rallied back there. You saw the lack of confidence at the beginning of the set. This is a topsy-turvy game, really.
It definitely is. As you can see, one powerful hit can change the whole momentum of the game. Ciparini really is starting to come up with those powerful hits, and hopefully his confidence is boosting up as well.
Well, 12-9, Ciparini starting to morph back in as the star. Bluefield starting to rally back behind the coaching of Ray Vance, and Milligan still pretty tough. You see the chemistry there for Milligan is arguably a little bit better than Bluefield's, but the Rams have the athletes there, which has been the difference.
It's very important that as an athlete that you're communicating with your teammates, letting them what you need and what you don't need. And right here tonight, I feel that Bluefield College Rams need to keep communicating in order to get this win.
12-9 they lead as the Rams go back out on the floor. Arion Leary subs in, as well as Chris Dixon. Jazz Frankie ready to serve.
We have seen Arion Leary earlier in the season being a setter, but as I said earlier, Vance is moving him all around. He's actually a libero tonight wearing that red jersey.
Robinson straight on the line, blocked over, but Bluefield can't keep the ball in bounds after the block by Dixon, and Mazza fails. So 12-10 the score.
Dixon and Mazda are there. They're touching the ball, but it just isn't enough to keep it down.
We're in set 3, tied up at 1-1.
That's a powerful serve he has right there.
Almost goes in the second deck as Cardamone sailed the ball straight in the air. Milligan back within 1.
That speed, that power is a little unstoppable right now.
Almost mirrors the speed of Ciparini. Kept in the air by Clark.
Lasharo somehow got it to the middle, right to the center.
Frankie over to Dixon.
Dixon with the cross-court hit.
Here's Clark. Back to Mazza. Chance for Robinson. And now that goes almost clonking off of a light. The rally ends the way of Milligan. The timeout proves vital for the Buffaloes.
Andre was there, but it just slid off right off his arms. He got to make sure that he's down low and his arms in the right position for the ball can go straight to the setter.
And Corcoran has been a powerful server.
Yes!
Power right there for Bluefield, though, courtesy Alberto Ciparini. And Taekwon Reed, the basketball player for Bluefield, giving him a high five right onto the floor. 13-12, and I remember Ciparini also a manager for the basketball team when the two teams.
He's really got his hands full this semester.
When he has the chance to, and Robinson just hit the ball into the bottom of the net.
We now have that 2-point lead. We've been back and forth this whole game, and right now we have Ciparini in the back just serving some powerful serves.
Chris Dixon teed up perfectly in the middle blocker, makes Milligan pay.
That's the definition of a power hitter for you.
15-12.
We just flipped that score pretty swiftly, and hopefully we can keep going in our direction.
Absolutely. Popped up Doring. Another set. And a violation for Bluefield gets Milligan right back in it.
That was a double for Matt Mazda.
15-13, and Daniel Robinson, another freshman. Set from Frankie straight to Chris Dixon, and the ball stays in bounds. Pretty close that time. But if Bluefield sets up their middle hitter, it is tough for Milligan to bounce back.
They definitely get on a roll, and they can be unstoppable.
Ace Bluefield.
Number 13 just seemed to jump as the ball was served to him, but it's very important that these players stay flat on their feet so they have all control of the ball.
Rams trying to capitalize on the inexperience of this Milligan team. But Milligan arguably trying to do the same. Lasharo Clark straight at the block. Popped in the air by Dixon. Mazza with a chance. Smith blocked. Owens kept it alive. Smacks over, but no.
He has the power, Carly, but he just needs to work on the direct location where he wants to put it.
Well,
Looks like he didn't even kind of look at the court to see where the availability, where he just was focusing on power and getting this swing through.
Well, Coach Vance talking to him for a second. He's giving him words of encouragement. Lasharo Clark, though.
There's a net on Bram's side.
And Carly Cohen's bumped into the net 17-15, and the errors can't have those for Bluefield, especially with Milligan, who has been so close in score in this one.
Like I said earlier, every point really matters, even all these technical points that we seem to be losing here tonight. Another communication error right there.
Communication not exactly up to par between Ciparini and Carleek Owens. It's kind of like in baseball when a flare goes between the third baseman and the shortstop. No one said, I got it, and it went straight down to the ground. Ciparini, he called that one. Point Rams. 18-16. Yanez back in, as well as Arion Leary in the libero shirt. And Leary not usually a libero for Bluefield. He's a little defensive specialist. Don't see him wear the libero shirt as often, but Yanez, usually a pretty good server, right into the net.
Like I said, it's really vital that these players take the extra couple seconds to really focus on where they want to serve the ball. And right there, it does not seem like he did that.
Chance for Goins. Owens jumps, but once again, the timing not there, and Dalton Smith ties it up.
Carleek Owens definitely has the hops, but we just got to work on the timing, like you said, Bailey.
Goins with another Milligan serve.
Somehow Chaz caught that out of the net without getting a net violation.
Dalton Smith towards the back line. Last second, Carleek Owens decided to get it.
Yes.
Blocked by Owens.
After many attempts at the net, we finally got a block straight down in the middle of the court.
Well, it was just one-on-one. Luke Dove thought he surely had that there, but Carleek Owens went up for that single block, and it's 19-18. Dunked over again. Carleek Owens. Couple of big blocks. And it's a net violation, rather. So a point for Milligan. And what an emotional swing that is. 19-19 now. So he must have had his fingers on the net while going up. Diving play for Cardamone.
We have a roll shot over by LaSharo Clark.
Another dig from Cardamone. Owens. On a back foot, Yanez sends the ball to Frankie. Ciparini. That was not ideal for the Rams at all, but the Brazilian sends the ball down the line to give the Rams the lead.
Those line shots that he gives are very lethal, and there's nothing that Milligan can do about that tonight.
Well, for Bluefield, you saw with Yanez going on his back foot, kept the ball alive with his right hand. Frankie picked up the pieces and sent it over to the powerful outside hitter. And after that, Leary just didn't give enough on that at all. 20-20.
Volleyball is a game of momentum, and it's very important to keep the momentum going in our way. And these serves are somewhat stopping our momentum to getting that big lead here tonight.
There's Luke Dove, middle blocker. Frankie just pushed the ball over. Back to the middle. Ciparini. Good play by Goins. Set from Frankie.
Yes.
What a kill.
His kills are just piling up now. Here we are in the third set.
21-20. Cardamone taking off, and there's 15 kills for Alberto Ciparini. So after a slow start in the first set, he's already got 15 kills. He only had 14 in 3 sets against Milligan last time. Of course, that one wasn't as tight of a match. As this is tied up 1-1. Rams took that one 3-0. Now they lead by 1, 21-20. Goins wasn't there. The communication lapsing for Milligan.
Like I said before, it's very vital that the setter knows where all his hitters are so they can be prepared for their approach and hopefully a kill in the end in their favor.
22-20. Here's Frankie. Doring. Chance for Mazza.
Mazza with the kill.
Off the hands of Milligan, and the Rams are feeling it here. 23-20. Timeout called by Milligan. And the Buffaloes got to see what they can do out of the timeout, Tori, because the last few times they call a timeout by head coach Deneva Bays, they have been able to fight right back.
It can go either way right here, like we've seen. We got the first, they got the second, but who's going to get the third here tonight at the Dome?
So here it is, 1-1. Rams took set one after a long set, 29-27, and then 26-24 in set two, thanks to Milligan. So after this timeout, Geneva Bays and Milligan, technically a club team, coming into this one trying to get a win. Rams up by 3. They have been down at points in this set, both emotionally and on the scoreboard, but they have fought back.
This is one of the bigger leads they've had here in the 20s when they're trying to finish up the set. This 3-point lead is going to be vital to help them continue on and just push that last 2 points so they can get that second set win here tonight.
23-20, Chas Frankie to serve out of the timeout. Back line, Dalton Smith with a punch over.
Just with his knuckles, he got that over, Bailey.
Ciparini uses the full palm this time. Into the net and bumping to the ground, Doring, and Milligan lapsing.
Chris was ready to block right there, but there's no way that ball was going over either way, block or not.
Set point for the Rams, a chance to take the 2-1 lead.
Just one more point they need to here win the 4 set tonight.
Frankie. Corcoran. Blocked over, set 3. Bluefield wins 25-20.
What a perfect time to get a block straight down.
What great way for Bluefield to bounce back. They take the 2-1 lead, and we're going to take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Don't go away. Set 4 coming up here at the Dome.
Started out the game
Alberto Ciparini with 13 kills for the Rams as they lead now 2-1. Trying to seal it up here in set 4. Bailey Angle and Tori Chapman making her Rams Digital Sports Network debut. And we're having a little bit of fun here as the Rams are up 2-1 over Milligan. Corcoran, a very powerful server for the Buffaloes, trying to make Bluefield pay once again. That time he just hit a grand slam, 1-0 Rams.
His serves are a little unexpected. Sometimes they're powerful and hit right there in the back row, but sometimes they swing all the way up to the office here in the Dome.
So 1-0 Rams. Ciparini now with 13 kills. And 14 the last time the Rams played the Buffaloes. As now Bluefield gets another chance and another error from Milligan. So it's like the exact same start that the Buffaloes had in set 3. When they come out with a few errors, it takes them a little while to wake up. And Ciparini trying to keep them asleep here. Another serve. Smith, who has 8 kills. Asharo Clark blocked. There's 4 hits for Bluefield. Well, a little bit of confusion now as Milligan gets the ball right back. Serve for Daniel Robinson. Set from Corcoran. Going's blocked, but it goes straight into the stands.
Lashara Clark and Chris Dixon were both there, but just not enough to keep the point on our side.
Well, the block has to get a tad bit better for Bluefield in the weeks moving on. They have a match against Campbellsville in 9 days. Whistling another point for Milligan. Milligan trying to set this one or send this one into set 5.
That's something we don't want to do on our side.
Absolutely, not at all. Say the least. Back on January 18th, the Rams won this one 3-0. Here's Corcoran. A little tee up for Doring and dunked over by Chris Dixon.
Chris Dixon is one of the leaders with kills tonight. You can tell that even though this is just his first couple games, he's really making a big impact for the Bluefield.
Now Chris Dixon. Corcoran tracking it down and couldn't get the ball over the net. So Bluefield back with it, 4-3. Reminder on the Rams Digital Sports Network, I'll be on the audio-only call, likely to be on our Bluefield College Athletics Facebook page. A couple of games down in Cleveland, Georgia against Truett-McConnell as the Rams get another point to take the lead 5-3. Women's game at 2 and the men's game right around 4 o'clock going up against the Truett-McConnell Bears. Back here to the Dome, though, Chris Dixon. He's really been a difference, Tori, and for Bluefield, it's good to have confidence there in the middle of the net.
He's only missed 1 serve here tonight, and if you watch men's volleyball, you know that a lot of times these points given and lost are because of service errors. But Chris Dixon has been doing very well keeping the ball in with his serves.
Frankie over to Mazza, and Mazza, that placement for him on the opposite side of the net has been doing a pretty good job for Bluefield, but still right there just slipped up a tad bit.
He was trying to hit that back line, but it was just a little too much.
Barrientos. Charo Clark. Off the block, Luke Dove. Bluefield's block. That'll be a point of emphasis likely in practice in the next week. Carleek Owens pushing the ball over.
Looks like he pretty much threw that one to the back of the court.
And it seemed like with Carleek Owens, when he jumped up, it's like he froze midair.
But hey, you got to do what you got to do to get a point.
6-6. Rico Yanez. Asharo Clark with a right hand. Point Bluefield.
That was a pretty close call. Our line just didn't know what to call there, so we had the referee take full control of that one.
7-6. Rams trying to seal the deal in set 4. Blocked out of bounds, and they have attacked the block, the Buffaloes against Bluefield.
Milligan is really using Bluefield's hands as a tool to help them in their advantage to get all these points.
Here's Clark. Once again on the windmill, point Bluefield. Rolled over, Yanez kept the ball alive. Ciparini.
Lacharo took that one and set it himself.
Luke Dove with a clean slap, point Milligan.
That one was just too quick, and especially the location. There was no way anyone will be able to get that one.
Ciparini off the block. Milligan able to regroup. Luke Dove. Another chance. Ciparini cocks it up again. Instead, just tips it over.
Mixing it up with the hits and the roll shots and the tips.
Corcoran blocked, and Ciparini can't keep that ball inside the boundaries. 9-8 Milligan. Milligan already has improved from that matchup we saw back on January 18th. They were able to take set 2, 26-24, and Luke Dove solidifying the middle block.
Milligan has been doing a really great job finding those holes. Wherever players aren't, that's where they're hitting, and that's why they have the lead right now, but just by 1 point.
Yanez ducked, and good thing he did. The ball went right over his head. Point Rams. Pushed over, straight in the air. Dug out. Great job by Yanez.
Back row hit, but that one went straight in the net.
Goes all the way back to that dig from Yanez. Him and Lacharo Clark pretty much teamed up for that. And Bluefield forced Milligan to play a tad bit out of position. Now it's 10-10.
That one seemed to hit his face.
Right.
Ouch.
Bluefield almost caught up with an ace there. Dunked over. Luke Dove has been a great middle blocker. 9 blocks for Milligan as a whole. Lead back to 1 for Milligan, and you can see on Dove's face just a little bit more confidence for the Buffaloes. Ciparini tacks the block and comes up big.
They tried to block that one, but there's no way that they were going to get hands on Ciparini.
With Jazz spraying key, Yanez taken off. Arion Leary and Mazza back into the game.
That one seemed to almost soar out.
Windmill shot for Smith. Ciparini, point Milligan.
He has the power, Ciparini. He just needs to learn on his direction and controlling it.
Well, he's really the only Bluefield Ram that has trouble harnessing that power because he has so much. A couple of words from Deneva Bays, head coach of Milligan.
Ciparini has been playing around this whole game, so I can bet that he's getting pretty tired here in the 4th set tonight.
And you're starting to see some of that exhaustion there as Ciparini on his back foot couldn't sail the ball over.
Didn't seem like he was trying much on that one.
Sent in the air, Cardamone, but another ace for Corcoran.
Cardamone was under that, but the direction and the position on it just sailed it all the way and almost hit us over here on the booth.
14-11. Milligan trying to send this into set 5. Mazza with a left hand. Dig from Smith. Chris Dixon. Set. Spike. Another rally. And Dixon, no calibration at all.
There was no snapping on the wrist and falling through the arm swing, and that's why that one sailed right out.
And Dalton Smith wiping up again.
From an outside perspective, it may look like that he's just cleaning up the floor, but a lot of times this is used as a tactic to postpone games that are usually close. And sometimes the coach will tell us, hey, wipe the floor just so we have that extra minute, just in case if we don't have any timeouts left.
No, is that something
Yes.
that Buddy Gallimore has done here at Bluefield?
Definitely. And other coaches I've had throughout the years definitely use this as a tactic in hopes and advantage, just stall the game a little bit.
16-11 after the error from Milligan, and that's a couple of years ago when Jason Kidd was coaching, I believe, the Nets, or was it the Bucks at the time, in basketball, and then he dropped his entire ice water onto the floor to get a new timeout. Well, Bluefield gets a point after the ball is bumped straight off of the boundary. 16-12. Can the Rams rally back? Smith on the backwards bump.
Perfect setup.
Clark with another chance. Goins now. Back to Clark, and it will be a double hit on Bluefield, and Ciparini has a quick word with the official.
Frankie tried to push that as much as he could, but that just turned out for a double and a loss of a point for Bluefield.
17-12. This has been the largest lead for Milligan at any point in the match. Well, Bluefield won that last set pretty confidently. Now here's Clark. Too much. You got to think that.
Oh, there was a touch on that one, Bailey.
Oh, just a little bit. So instead of it being a Milligan point, Rams get the point and the serve right back. It's down by 4. Can Chris Dixon and Bluefield rally?
Dixon has been pretty dependable in the serving in the back row tonight.
Smith with a left hand, and caught Bluefield playing out of position.
He did whatever he could to get that ball back on Bluefield's side.
Chance for the libero for Milligan. Mazza with a swing and just not enough. Timeout call by Ray Vance. We're going to take a break here. 19-13, set 4. Milligan on their way to send this one into set 5 here at the Dome. Milligan in charge, 19-13. They lead here in set 4. Alberto Ciparini with 17 kills for Bluefield leading the way. And Dalton Smith on the other side for Milligan doing a pretty great job for the Buffaloes. Rams trying to rally back, down by 6 as Lasharo Clark won't get the rally started there. Luke Dove with the block over.
Lasharo sent over a bullet, but that's what Milligan just did right back to us.
And Luke Dove with almost like Dikembe Mutombo style confidence with the head shake after the block. That's 10 blocks for Milligan. Mazza, way too much. It's just been that type of set for the Rams. And normally for Bluefield, you can kind of understand the struggles against a team that has had a little bit more of an established program, but they are kind of lapsing here against Milligan, a team with a lot of inexperience. Let's get a gift, though.
We got the point, but it's still a 7-point lead for Milligan.
21-14. Long hill to climb for Lucas Leder. Frankie. Communication not there.
That one.
Carleek Owens was jumping up. Luke Dove with a slap. He's arguing that somebody tipped it, and he won't get it. He's saying that Arion Leary got a fingertip, but officials won't take that. 21-15. Luke Dove pushed over. Attacking the block, and a point for the Rams.
And we're slowly starting to close that gap that we have made here tonight.
Rams were down by 7, now making it 5, 21-16. It's going to come down to the serves for Bluefield, and won't even need that for Milligan. Going on the back line, and Leary just tipped the ball up in the air. Ciparini couldn't track it down. 22-16.
That ball was definitely going out. You can see that usually when a player has to jump in the back row and put their hands up to try to stop a serve, that ball is going out anyways. Just let it go.
Set from Frankie. Spike, rather a roll shot.
Nice up by Arion.
Sharo Clark cocked up, was ready for a monster hit, but then went against the block and then straight into the net. 23-16. Milligan just 2 away from sending this match into set 5.
You can tell that this frustration on Bluefield's side is really adding up, and this is not a time that we need that.
(23-16). Finesse move by Frankie. Milligan didn't fall for it. Carleek Owens had to tip the ball over.
Battle at the net.
Rams trying to win that battle. Ciparini, he does. Point Rams.
He wanted to finish that right there.
And he's trying to get to 20 kills. Now he has 18. Dunked over. Owens making it interesting. Still just 2 away from Milligan, though.
He's not done with this set yet, Bailey.
Owens may be one of the more unassuming players, like we talked about, at the middle blocking position. Got a lot of height at 5'9".
When you least expect it, he comes out with that killer hit.
So Lasharo Clark trying to capitalize a rally for Bluefield. 23-18, they lead 2-1.
Right now, it's just so important that we keep the ball in play and don't miss any serves so close to the end of the set.
Luke Dove.
Into the net.
Block works out for Bluefield, 23-19.
Just like that, we are only down by 4 points. Barely over, hitting right there at the 10-foot line.
Frankie. And he attacked the pole, but a little awkward for Brazilian. Now he's back up, not hurt.
You can tell that number 13, Alberto Ciparini, has a mixture of frustration and exhaustion right here in the 4th set.
Rams definitely need him. Now Milligan with set point. Failed to get the ball over. It's now 24-20.
They could have finished that game, but it's more of a serving war here tonight.
Right. Yeah, at one point it was 21-14. Carleek Owens. Still for set point. Ciparini blocked out of bounds, and the set stays alive.
Ciparini definitely used Milligan's hands as a tool in his advantage.
24-21, Carleek Owens, neon shoes and all.
We still have an opportunity to get this one here.
Corcoran blocked at the net, And Ciparini sends a little bit of energy Bluefield's way. Timeout called by Milligan. It's 24-22. The Rams have had the tendencies to rally in these games when they were down by 6 points or more. And we're seeing here, cut it down to 2, still set point for Milligan. So the Rams have really no chances to hiccup here in set 4. But Milligan has to try to send this into set 5. So Bluefield not going to be silenced necessarily in set 4, but what a comeback it would be if the Rams are able to just get this here, Tori.
Bluefield closed the gap. It was a 7-point difference, and now it's only a 2-point. So hopefully we can continue that and tie it up to 24-24.
And Ciparini has been the difference for Bluefield, as well as Carly Owens. Speaking of Owens, he will serve out of the break. Milligan still has set point. They are down 2-1. Rams just a little bit looser. Milligan trying to solidify themselves into the 5th set.
You can definitely tell that was a confidence booster for them.
Goins. Set 4 ends. Luke Dove with the exclamation point. We're headed to set 5. 25-22. Milligan wins. And now for Milligan, it will go off the floor, and we're going to take a break. Rams all tied up 2-2 with the Buffaloes here on the Rams Digital Network. Headed to set 5 here at the Dome. Interestingly enough, this is the first time that Bluefield has played past 3 sets. In every one of their wins as well as their losses, they have only played in 3 sets. So now we're going to 5 against Milligan after they wrapped up that last set 4. playing just a 15 here. Rams trying to keep that energy alive. Bailey Engel and Tori Chapman, glad to have you with us on the Rams Digital Sports Network.
I'm glad to be here.
It's been a fun one here on Tori's debut on the Rams Digital Sports Network, trying to get her on for the Campbellsville matchup on February 24th as well. You down for that? Just kind of asked you on air.
Yes, of course.
All right,
I love
awesome.
being here in the Dome. You can see that this is going to be a battle of endurance and exhaustion. Hopefully we can finish and fight this one through tonight.
Frankie with the serve. Avarintos. Dixon. Well, Dixon has been the secret weapon for Bluefield in this one. Mazza with a swing, kept alive. Ciparini already has 18 kills for Bluefield. Corcoran. Way over the net from Dalton Robinson. Bluefield with the opening point.
In the fifth set, every point truly matters. They don't have enough cushion room to go all the way to 25 and try to fight through. We need to start strong and finish strong.
Well, the Rams were down by 7 in that last one and ended up rallying back to make it 24-22, but Milligan hang tough and got that last point. Then Milligan, no communication there. It was like they were running a reverse, and Goins went on the opposite end of the floor. Rams capitalized, 2-0. Now Chaz Frankie, and the center with a serve.
Straight over.
Setting up Ciparini, point Bluefield. 20 kills for the young man out of Brazil.
He started off pretty slow, but that's not the way he's finishing here tonight.
Well, he's had some pretty good history against Milligan in that 3-set victory. He had 14 kills, and now in 5 sets, make it 20.
That's a pretty impressive number, considering that this is his first year here in the States playing volleyball.
Ace for Bluefield. Frankie feeling it now for the Rams, 4-0.
Frankie on a roll here tonight.
Another one for Frankie. Back towards the middle. Smith. Diving play by Clark. Kill Ciparini. Bluefield leads 5-0. Their best start to any set we've seen tonight.
And especially in the 5th set, that's pretty impressive considering that Bluefield Rams have never seen a 5th set in their season.
You saw the momentum kind of tilt back the way of the Rams, even though Milligan got the win in set 4. Bluefield rallied all the way back, and now it's transferred straight into set 5.
It's all about bouncing back and starting strong.
There's Frankie over for Ciparini. Point Bluefield.
Frankie's just going to keep setting it to Ciparini, especially with the role that he's on tonight.
Timeout Milligan, 6-0 Rams in set 5. Taking a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield trying to wrap it up. Really a perfect start for the Rams in set 5, 6-0. They lead Milligan, all tied up in sets at 2-2. As Frankie sends the ball over again, he's already got an ace and make it 2 in set 5, 7-0.
Just one more point and our Bluefield Rams are going to switch sides with Milligan.
Just waiting to add the point on the scoreboard, and our head SID here, Robert Red, makes it happen. Doring kind of quiet after a great start in the middle blocker for Milligan. Ciparini.
Everything's going to him right now.
And they're going to keep doing that if he can keep capitalizing. 8-0. Both teams starting to switch sides. Rams trying to sweep here in set 5, already leading 8-0. Milligan looks tired, which is a little shocking, especially after what we saw out of them in set 4, Tori. They came out just swinging, and the communication starting to really crumble in set 5 for the Buffaloes.
Exactly. We just don't know what's going to happen, but right now we can see that it's definitely in our favor, and we're hoping that we can just continue it and hopefully get maybe 15 straight points tonight.
Right, 8-0. Trying for an incredibly rare feat to completely sweep set 5, and if you're just now joining us, this is the first time that Bluefield has gone to sets 4 or 5 this season. Every win has been decided, and every loss has been decided in 3 straight sets, including one on January 18th against Milligan in Johnson City. Slapped over by Robinson, another error for Milligan.
Milligan is just trying to do anything they can to keep the ball in, but it just seems not to be working out in their favor.
Well, Frankie back to serve. He has served the entire time. And will do so until Milligan is able to score a point here. 9-0.
Frankie has been so consistent with these last 9 serves.
At the lie by Clark. That one almost went out of bounds. Ciparini, Frankie sliding back to get it. Bluefield trying to set back up.
You can tell that Bluefield Rams are doing everything they can to not let the ball hit the floor.
That time Ciparini lets it hit the floor on the back line. He thought he had a fingertip though. Now it's 9-1. So Milligan doesn't get the goose egg on that set 5, and now it's 9-1.
Bluefield definitely has the advantage and definitely a major cushion here in the 5th set.
That floor, especially that spot, it's nothing but sweat right there. They haven't wiped up any other part of the floor tonight. Chris Dixon swings. Over the boundary, point Rams.
That's Chris Dixon's 11th kill here tonight.
So 11 kills for Chris Dixon. And for Ciparini already over 20. Goins. Bluefield. The block cannot fall for the Rams. And Mozzie, you're seeing the frustration mount for the outside hitter.
He knows he's there, and it just frustrates him every time that he has it, but it just slips out at the very last second.
Roll shot Clark.
We just need 5 more points.
There's the block.
And now we only need 4.
11-2, Rams lead by 9.
This is the biggest gap we've seen all night, and it just happens to be in the 5th set at the most vital time that we need it.
Goins attacking the block and comes up with another win. So Bluefield 1 for 3 in the block now. Lasharo Clark frustrated.
We still have this big lead, but that doesn't stop Lasharo Clark from showing his frustration and anger here on the court.
Here's Frankie. Clark trying to make up for it, and he does. Point Bluefield. Ricardo Yanez back on the floor. Mazza walks off. Yanez comes in to serve when it's Mazza's turn. So Rico Yanez.
We only need 3 more points here tonight at the Dome.
And once again, Corcoran. Back set, Goins. Lasharo Clark off the fingertips.
Milligan, as you can see, is very scrappy. They're trying to stay in as long as they can.
Whistle and a point for Bluefield. 13-3, just 2 from winning this one.
A 10-point difference. This is something that you would not see at all last year.
Andre Fiore into the game, and Got to remember, as we touched on in the opening, Rams only won one set and did not win a match at all last year, and now looking for what could be their 4th win of the season. Frankie. Forey with the windmill, just cranked it over. Bluefield native, was homeschooled. Yanez wasn't ready, attacked his wrists. And Milligan refuses to go down. It's 13-5. Clark off the block, and now Bluefield will serve for match point. That was 12 for Lasharo Clark. 14-5. Rams don't know who's going to serve, and Clark will do the honors.
Hopefully he will finish up this match here tonight with this last serve.
Been a pretty long one. Rams are trying for the sweep against Milligan. They won 3-0 back on January 18th. Now it's gone all the way into 5 sets. Match point here, Sharo Clark. And it ends on an ace.
What
Bluefield
a way to end the game.
Bluefield wins 15-5 and wins the match 3-2. And Tori, it's such an up and down one there.
Yes, definitely.
Rams were able to get the win, but talked about it at the beginning. Berto Ciparini, he was the star in this one.
Definitely. You can see that he's in the 20s with kills tonight, and that is something that is uncomparable to any other player on both sides. He's a major key factor, and we're hoping that throughout the season he's just continuing with his positive impact.
Well, the attack was good for Bluefield, courtesy Lasharo Clark, as well as Chris Dixon and Alberto Ciparini. Rams win this one 3-2 over Milligan. So for Tori Chapman, my name is Bailey Engel, saying so long from Bluefield after the Rams get the win here in the Dome.